It was very good, very relevant words, very interesting messages told both by the Commissioner and by the Chair. For me, it's just enough to give some additional information on the internal institute level. And if you think in March, we only had about 9 to 12 members of staff. Now we have 27, and we will have 28, and in January we will have all the 31 members of staff which was planned for this year, which means that taking into consideration how difficult and long time-consuming process is for the European agencies, of course, we all are very proud that now we will be working, as the Chair said, in full capacity during the next year in order to do what we are planning, what the Commission and the Member States expect us to do. And I will very shortly, just to confirm what we shortly planning to just to see that it's the same within the frame which was already mentioned today. This statement is a statement internally developed by the staff, and this is a vision of the European Institute internally. When we were processing the tasks, the obligations of the within the regulation and the feasibility study with all the expectations, so we defined this that for EIGE, for us, making equality between women and men a reality for all Europeans and beyond. That is our vision for the future. What we are launching now, it is, as the Commission and the Chair mentioned, it is now for us, it's very important to become European competence center on gender equality issues. Competence, excellence, expertise, of course, those are the words which are mainly the key words, and they are based on the former, earlier feasibility studies when the Commission and the Parliament made a feasibility study. That was about 7 years ago. So, of course, the main things were that, like even the government, the white paper on European government is saying that usually the agencies, like my colleagues here, the European agencies are created to draw on highly technical sectoral knowledge. And it's also very important, like in the case of the Institute, that it's the tasks which are not dealt with at a European level. And it is, in the case of Institute, it is centralization and dissemination of information, coordination of research, generating visibility of gender equality studies. That was the needs which were identified during the feasibility study. And of course, based on that, we also prepare the tasks, which is for the competence center of the Institute. As our Chair mentioned, you see above, it's also how we see it, the chain of events, how the process, how information, data, and methods we will dealt with. So the green stage is now collect, and of course collecting, we have to collect from, starting from the European Commission, different DGs, as Commissioner mentioned, it's all areas, 27 commissioners, that means it's all different areas of activity where is always men and women. So then we have to collect from the member states, from the governments, from equality bodies, from NGOs, from research centers, all the stakeholders. Of course, it's a big range and we will never manage to do it at once, but everybody has something interesting and useful. And then processing, producing, that's the internal tasks, of course, which will be done when we have the initial data, and then dissemination when we come to one of the main tasks, the overall objectives, which was identified for the Institute to raise awareness of European Union citizens, to think about the questions Commissioner asked, why it is like this, and why men work less when they have a family, women work more when they have children. I mean, one of the questions. And then, of course, some of the examples, I just put what we will collect. And it's very many things which, of course, can help if they are properly used. So that will be in the competence center, in the center of excellence, in the resource center for the future dissemination. Now, if you look at our main stakeholders, of course, they are the ones to whom our services will be rendered. And once again, just to mention, the steps, of course, will be, that means that we will be doing the steps during the future in order to plan a sustainable and reliable work and to give the evidence for the policy making as we are supposed to do. And as it was mentioned already, the areas of the Commission strategy, in a way, the data, information, best practices, publications, methods, everything has to do with men and women. And it's human rights, it's fundamental rights, it's justice in a broader sense, not only legal, but also the attitudes, the possibilities you have, depending on your society. It's the stereotypes, men and women. And I'm also very happy that the Commission strategy includes men as a sectoral, cross-cutting approach, because it is important really for the common understanding, for the misunderstandings, and it's really, if our institute is Institute for Women and Men, so that means that ways to engage men is also very important. Which means that we are going step by step to contribute to the vision so that the strategy will be also whatever is needed from us, we will deliver and we will plan it. So, by this word, I just close the first part of the first session, and now I would like to go on to the next step of our opening session, which means that today we have 3 colleagues, as the chair said, 3 men, but they are very strong and very experienced directors. As it was mentioned, our institute has some, as we call, sister agencies, the agencies which do some sectors, but at the same time, the gender equality issues are more related to the work of these agencies as, let's say, directly to the other agencies. And we have been discussing during the latest 3-4 months, we've been discussing cooperation agreements in order to avoid duplications, to see how we can help each other to strengthen the effect, to save the costs, in particular now when the crisis is still here. And also to see how we could join the efforts, combine some events in order to disseminate stronger message, to give it stronger and to see that women or men are not missed. And we have prepared, we are still negotiating with the Vocational Training Institute agency, CDFOP. So today we will not sign the agreement yet. The Safety at Work agency, OSHA, unfortunately, director is in somewhere abroad, so he cannot come. So it will come by post. Unfortunately, you won't see that agreement. But we have Fundamental Rights Agency, FRA, and we have Eurofound. We will now do the first historic moment of signing cooperation agreements.